ratio an plus 1 over an of absolute value and simplify. So we got an. Now we need to find the ratio. Okay, so for a, the next term, an plus 1. An plus 1. So we need to write n plus 1 wherever we have n. Okay, it's not simply plus 1 at the end. Replace n wherever we have by n plus 1. So this is going to be negative 1 raised to n becomes n plus 1. 1 over on the bottom 2 n is now n plus 1 plus 3. It's not simply plus 1. It's wherever n we write n plus 1. And this is 2n plus 2 plus 3. This is 2n plus 5 if we simplify. Okay. Now let's find this ratio. And by the way, absolute value. So negative 1 to the n or negative 1 to the n minus 1 or negative 1 raised to n plus 1. They'll give us like plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1 or vice versa. But when we take absolute value, it's going to be simply 1. Always positive 1. Okay. Now here then an plus 1 over an, and we need to find absolute value. That is absolute value of an plus 1 is here. Negative 1 raised to n plus 1 times 1 over, this is basically 2n plus 2 when we distribute 2. That 2 plus 3, 5, so 2n plus 5. That's an plus 1 divided by, so let me write here, divided by an, which is given here. Negative 1 to the n, 1 over 2n plus 3. Absolute value. So this absolute value makes this one 1. So this is going to be 1 when we take absolute value. 2n plus 5 is always positive, and so is 2n plus 3. So we can simply get rid of absolute value. This is 1 over 2n plus 5. Now if we change this division into multiplication, this one we flip. Keep, change, flip. This will be 2n plus 3 over 1. That means simply the tops, multiply the tops. So 2n plus 3 over 2n plus 5. Okay, that's for A. Let's do same thing for B. And by the way, negative 2 to the n, we can think negative 2 is, that's like negative 1 times 2 inside raised to n. So negative 1 to the n times 2 to the n. Okay, this is how we can simplify. So for B, part B, so an plus 1, let me copy this one. I'm erasing this. An is negative 2 raised to n over n factorial. Oh, okay, here is a factorial. We know that factorial, like if there is a 5 factorial, that's the 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 all the way. Okay, then we can rewrite this as, if we need 5 times 4, 3, 2, 1 means 4 factorial. Okay, in the same way, if we have n factorial, that is n times 1 less, n minus 1, n minus 2, all the way to 3, 2, 1. So we can rewrite, if we, depending on the situation, n, the remaining, okay, this is times, so n minus 1 factorial. Or we can go even n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial if we need. And if we have, let's say, n plus 1 factorial, okay, let me go down here. That is the very first factor will be n plus 1 times 1 less, means n times etc. So we can maybe here. Okay. So here an, what is the next term? a n plus 1 would be then negative 2 n plus 1 on the bottom. It's not simply plus 1. We are replacing n by n plus 1. So that's the n plus 1 factorial. Okay, now we are asked to find the ratio, absolute value of the ratio an plus 1 over an. So an plus 1 is here, negative 2 n plus 1 over n plus 1 factorial divided by an. An is negative 2 to the n over n factorial. Okay, last time we had negative 1 raised to something and absolute value would be 1, but it's a negative 2. So we can regard this as negative 1 raised to n plus 1 times 2 raised to n plus 1, and same thing here. So that is, now we are not done with the absolute value. So I'm going to keep writing absolute value. This is negative 2 to the n plus 1 is negative 1 raised to n plus 1. In fact, this becomes 1. Okay, when we take absolute value, times 2 raised to n plus 1 over n plus 1 factorial. And we have n factorial, so we can simplify this, okay? Or let me do in the next step. Divided by, we can put multiplication, n factorial on the top, over negative 2 to the n is negative 1 to the n times 2 to the n. And we have absolute value. Yeah, okay. And this becomes 1. When we take absolute value, this becomes 1. Now, all the other factors are all positive, so we don't need absolute value anymore. So this 2n plus 1 is 2n here, so we can simplify in this way. 2n plus 1 is, in fact, we can factor 2 raised to n times 2 raised to 1. Okay, 2n 2n plus 1. So this one is 2n times 2 raised to 1. I need to write times n factorial, that's on the top. On the bottom, n plus 1 factorial, look at here. That is, because n is smaller than n plus 1, so we can expand n plus 1 times 1 less means n factorial. I want to stop here so that I can cancel top and bottom. Okay, and there is 2 raised to n here as well, and we can cancel 2 raised to n as well. So this simplifies then what? 2 over n plus 1. Okay, if we take the limit when n goes to infinity, 2 over infinity, the limit would be 0 as n goes to infinity. Okay, so let's do part C. Okay, that is here negative 1 raised to n plus 1, 1 over 2n plus 1. Okay, let me go up, okay, and we can do over here, because now we know this thing, so it can go very, very fast, okay. So here, what is the next term? This is an, so an plus 1 would be then negative 1 raised to, n becomes n plus 1. So n plus 1 minus 1 is simply n. 1 over 2, n becomes n plus 1 plus 1. Okay, 1, 1 cancel, just n. This is 2n plus 2 plus 1. So 2n plus 3. So this is 2n plus 3 factorial. Now let's find the ratio, an plus 1 over an. So this one, And we know that when we take absolute value, this negative 1 to the n becomes 1. So I'm not going to even write that. So an plus 1 is simply 1 over 2n plus 3 factorial. Okay, I got rid of this absolute value because that is going to make negative 1 to the n just 1. Divided by, that's the an plus 1, divided by an, and we are taking absolute value, that will make this thing go 1 as well. Okay, absolute value makes this go 1. And 1 over 2n plus 1 factorial. Okay, 2n plus 1, 2n plus 3. So that's the 2 more. So we need to expand this. So this is 1 over, we can do 2n plus 3 times 1 less 2n plus 2 factorial. But our need is to go even 1 less. So we can do 2n plus, okay, we can go 2n plus 2 factorial as 1 more. Next would be 2n plus 1 factorial. Okay, it's like 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to stop here because 2n plus 1 we have here. Okay, so we are dividing, right? This dividing means multiply, then this flips, so 2n plus 1 factorial on the top divided by 1. As you can see, 2n plus 1 factorial cancel. What is left over? 1 over that. So this ratio is 1 over 2n plus 3, 2n plus 2 final.